This video is being created as a review of what we covered in Ms. Wilson's room March 1st around 8 o'clock in the morning. So we have a presentation on dividing exponents. I have it zoomed in really far. Let me just adjust that slightly. So the expectation of learning and review. And some of these things have a lot of blank space. And so the mode, I guess, was typically to use the Clever Touch overlay. So basically they were writing notes over the slide. And then the notes would be gone. Students would have to walk to the board taking turns. And sometimes there are advantages to doing that instead. But sometimes you want a record of what happened. And sometimes you want students to be able to write from home or from their seats or some combination of those things. So what I did was I made a new JamBoard and stuck some of these problems in there. So to do that, I'm going to do it two different ways. If the teacher finds Google Drive to be a comfortable spot, then you can go to New, More, and JamBoard, and it will create a new JamBoard document in whatever folder you were just in Google Drive, okay? Or, of course, I can, instead of going to Google Drive, I can go to jamboard.google.com, okay? You can also get to there by going to the waffle thing. Go down below YouTube, I guess. There's that thing. It says Jamboard. I think it looks like a letter D. I think it's supposed to be a J. Oh, whatever. Anywho, so now I'm in Jamboard, and I can go to the plus sign in the lower right that says New. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You pick what is easiest for you to get started, but always give your Jamboard a name, okay? Whatever that happens to be. It's just a good habit because they're easy to lose later. And then I'm going to zoom in so I can get a little bit better resolution. That's partly just my own compulsion and maybe something most people would skip, but I would say Shift, Command, Control 4 on a Mac, and you would do like Command S on a Windows machine. That's a way to copy something and say Command V to paste it. All right. You may want to have an intro screen, so maybe before this screen, I'll go up here and I'll say plus to stick a slide in front real fast. And so now I have a page 1, and if I want to introduce something, I can say this. Whatever your general message is for the day, or if you have an image or a discussion point, or basically if you want to start turning your Jamboard into a slideshow, which some people do, there are advantages and disadvantages to doing it that way. It's also a good check-in if you want students to write how they're doing, or write what they had for lunch, or that kind of thing. Anywho, okay, so I'm on page 2, and of course the tools are over here, and you probably got all that, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. So add image. Is going to add it the normal way that you would on Google Slides or whatever. So you can drag it over here to upload it, or you can go to your photos or your Drive. But I just like to copy and paste myself, so I'll do a couple more like that. I'll give us some elbow room. Make this a little bigger for this page, and then I'll go ahead and go next, and it'll automatically add a slide. If I say next and I'm at the end, it adds a new one. So it looks like I would probably want us to do something with this one. Okay, so I'll say Shift Control Command 4, Command V. Okay, and I'll stick a few more on there like that. And then as we flip through later on, after I share it, then right here it says Share with Special School District. I'm going to make sure anyone with this link can edit. So now when I copy this link, okay, then I'll go over to Google Classroom or my email or however I like to interface with my students, maybe Zoom if you're doing AMI, and paste the link onto there, okay? So students will click on your link, which looks like that, and then they will see the same Jamboard that you have. And then you put one on the board, of course, up on the Clever Touch. It's good to have if people are physically in the room, but that's how you would do it on Jamboard. And the one today, well, you can review that anytime you want to, I guess, because I'm not going to get rid of it anytime soon. Oh, it looks like one of the students have a very nice car. My owner students always have the nicest cars. Okay, let's go ahead and just Pear Deckify this real fast and talk about the differences and similarities. You may already know. Go to Add-ons and Pear Deck and make sure I've got all my tools over on the right. Okay, or if I say oops and I hit the X, that's how you get them back. But for this one, let's say I wanted to be able to draw on it. So drawing, okay, on the student device, they just kind of use a pen to do whatever it is they're going to do. And on the projector, if you've got your Pear Deck up on the projector, you can go between different students. So in other words, with JamBoard, if one student writes, the other student sees it, and if one student erases what one student said, then you can have a little pen fight or eraser fight. Whereas, of course, when you're doing Pear Deck, then each student has his or her own record. It makes it easier for you to review and less interaction. I'm going to say start lesson. I'm going to do an instructor paced activity. And then it's going to give me a link. I can go to joinpd.com and they can type in that, okay? Or I can click on give students a link. It says link copied to clipboard, okay? So I can go to Google Classroom or Zoom or whatever and paste that link, okay? Okay, then the students will be able to access. It's going to ask them how they're feeling. That's what Pear Deck does. And then it's going to load a presentation. Okay, so here's the teacher's presentation, all right? The student can switch between full screen and not, and that's about all the student can do. The teacher can start class, okay? And as the teacher switches, we'll see the teacher switching. All right, so teacher goes over to a slide with one of the answered things on it. Now I've gotten to a slide that had the Pear Deck drawing thing on it, okay? So the teacher's seeing this one, and it says no responses at the bottom. So the student sees this screen, but it says students draw anywhere on this slide, and they've got, a very simple drawing set up, and they can pick what kind of pen they want, or a line, or they can use a highlighter, and they can say this equals, I should plug in my pen for this, it's painful. Okay, 5, 5, 5, it's kind of thick. Yeah, over 5, oh, much better, okay. And I can say, okay, 5 divided by 5, 1, so this equals 25, I have 2 left on top, or however you want to say it, okay. Over on the teacher's screen, we'll see there's one response, okay. So I can say show responses, whether I'm on the personal laptop, whether I'm on the Clever Touch or whatever. Well, here's what one student wrote, okay, and then I can say here's what another student wrote by changing through the different responses, which I only have one, so I can't give you an example of that, but anyway, that's how Pear Deck would do it. So you can see the advantages and disadvantages to each. I hope that covers what we talked about. Thanks for watching.